wait a minute. You don't think it's effective, but you would agree that this is calling for the destruction of the state of Israel. This is after the
No, Senator.
No, it's not. This isn't calling for the killing of Jews.
I don't know that person, and I don't know that sign. So
You don't know what this
for.
means?
I don't think.
You haven't seen this before? Did you see these protests on Rabbi, do you know what this means?
Yes, it's a call for the destruction of the state of Israel and probably the killing of Jews everywhere.
I do not agree with that, Senator.
You don't think that's hate speech right here?
Long live the Intifada can mean different. As I see the problem.
It can mean different things. Wait a minute. These are protests, violent protests on campuses that targeted Jewish students, attacked them personally, prevented them from going to camp, going to class, put them in fear of their safety after the October 7th attacks on the state of Israel that murdered more Jews than at any time since the Holocaust. And you're saying you think that this is an ambiguous message?
I'm saying that any student targeted on campus, a Jewish student.
Will you condemn this right here? Right here. Long live the Intifada. Will you condemn that?
Condemning Jewish students on a campus is being targeted, and the Office of Civil Rights should successfully be given funding.
Will you condemn this as hate speech?
I think that can be hate speech, but I don't think it's automatically hate speech. The problem is that there's nuance I'm trying to introduce to this conversation.
What's the nuance when these people are marching and calling for Jews to be killed?
Sir, because Intifada also means uprising for Palestinians. The way
it's ambiguous, so it's hard to say. Well, my gosh. Okay, let's try another one. What about this?
Hello, political enthusiasts. Today we're diving into a heated Senate hearing that's ignited discussions nationwide. Senator Josh Hawley took center stage as he confronted a Democrat witness over her refusal to condemn anti-Semitic rhetoric on college campuses. This hearing was called to address the alarming rise in anti-Semitic incidents on campuses, especially after the tragic October 7th attacks in Israel. Senator Hawley didn't hold back. He pressed a representative from a human rights organization on her stance regarding this growing issue. The heart of the debate? Whether phrases like, from the river to the sea and long live the Intifada are hate speech or merely political expressions. Hawley highlighted specific incidents, such as violent protests targeting Jewish students and calls for the destruction of Israel.
Okay, let's try another one. What about this?
Please, audience will please.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's fine. We know what you think. Right, exactly. I mean, I think you've made it clear. Those who were cheering earlier when Senator Cruz was asking about the attempts to destroy and kill Jews. Let's just be clear about what's going on here, because here's what's happening at this hearing. We can't talk about anti-Semitism without also talking about something else. The message that's being sent today, at this hearing today, is anti-Semitism isn't enough. The attempts to kill Jews on campuses, that's not a conversation worthy of discussion. You've got to add something else to it. So if you want to kill Jews, oh, well, we can't talk about that unless we also talk about 15 other things. And now we have a witness sitting here who will not condemn the attempts on these campuses that are blatantly anti-Semitic tropes, Nazi tropes to try and kill Jews. What about this one? There's only one solution. Is that a national organic human rights movement?
No, sir. I trust that's in reference to Holocaust, and that's
I would think the final solution. Okay, what about this? What about this? Glory to our martyrs.
Again, I don't understand the point of messaging like that. I don't know what that means.
Would you condemn this as anti-Semitic? This was projected here in Washington, D.C., on the campus, in front of Jewish students following the October 7th massacre.
I think that is not appropriate speech at a time.
It's hate speech in the context, don't you think?
Sure, but the point is I would prefer to focus on the issue of hate crime. That's the reason I'm saying
this is a hate crime. When you threaten to kill Jews and destroy the state of Israel, that's hate speech. No, that's a hate crime.
Threatening to kill anyone, including Jews, is
let's not pretend that it's ambivalent or ambiguous or we're not sure. How about this one? Free Palestine from the river to the sea.
That's not hate speech, sir.
You don't think that this is a call for the destruction of the state of Israel?
Again, I can speak to what I think, which is amazing because I'd love to talk about what I think, but I really think the focus of our hearing
You don't think that after the October 7th attacks, when this was projected in front of a group of Jewish students right here in the District of Columbia, you don't think that's an attempt to intimidate them and call for the destruction of the state of Israel?
But the witness insisted these slogans were ambiguous. Meanwhile, a rabbi testifying alongside her explained their violent undertones, Hawley's frustration was palpable. He called out the reluctance to unequivocally condemn rhetoric that, in many cases, openly incites harm against Jewish communities. College campuses are supposed to be places of learning and inclusion. Yet, in recent weeks we've seen Jewish students harassed, intimidated, and even physically attacked. When leaders fail to call out this behavior for what it is, anti-Semitic hate, it emboldens those who perpetrate it. The witnesses' hesitance to condemn these actions outright sends a dangerous message that hate, when cloaked in political rhetoric, is acceptable. Hawley asked, "Can you imagine if there was a slogan that also meant kill all the black people?" But someone argued it could mean something else. It was a stark reminder that language matters, and so does clarity in condemning hate. Senator Hawley ended with a strong call to action, urging the Senate to stand united against this kind of rhetoric. It's about more than just slogans or protests. This is about the kind of society we want to build, a society where hate has no place, no matter who it's directed at. Senator Hawley's confrontation was a wake-up call, not just for the Senate but for all of us. Let's speak up when it matters, and let's make sure our voices are louder than the voices of hate. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.